Say one nice thing about Ja Rule.
Well, he's alive.
50 Cent is cemented as one of hip-hop's greatest rappers. Coming out of the streets of Queens to now being one of the masterminds in black entertainment, 50 Cent has came a long way. But one thing hasn't changed. One thing has persisted during all his time in the spotlight, and that is that 50 Cent is one of the pettiest rappers of all time. And you don't want to beef with him. Now, if you go on 50 Cent's social media and you just scroll for a little bit, it will be no surprise that I'm saying this. This man has weaponized social media like my mom has weaponized that belt. From his now legendary beef with Ja Rule to now his public clowning of Big Meech.
I look at the computer say, Floyd said, fuck T.I., fuck Nelly, fuck 50. I'm like, what'd he say fuck me for? Nelly fucked your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fucking fiance. Say fuck that nigga.
No one is safe from 50 Cent, not even the people that are no longer here. Why? Because y'all will be beefing until one of y'all is no longer here, and for your reputation, you better hope it's not you. So in this video, we're gonna go over all the people 50 Cent has crossed paths with, for better or for worse, who started the feud and how 50 Cent took it too far. But before we get to that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Versus Ja Rule. While Ja Rule and Irv Gotti was running around New York having the world believe that Ja Rule is the hardest rapper alive, 50 Cent was itching to get at them, but while 50 Cent had all the means, one person was keeping 50 at bay, and that person was Supreme McGriff. However, after Supreme got himself into some hot waters and 50 Cent survived that shooting, it was up for Ja Rule. 50 Cent was clowning this man any chance he got, but by far the worst thing to happen was when 50 Cent learned how to use the internet, cause oh lord. Now with the internet in his hand, 50 Cent will create the blueprint to how he will troll all his ops. From clowning him on diss tracks, interviews, and talk shows to now seeing what 50 Cent has to say while you're scrolling using the bathroom. Ja Rule could not get away from the menace that was 50 Cent. It ultimately all led up to the infamous moment where in 2018, 50 Cent would go out of his way to buy 200 front row tickets to Ja Rule's concert in Arlington, Texas, just to keep the seats empty.
Is this nigga serious?
Now folks, do you know how much you must hate a guy to put money in his pockets just to clown him? This man 50 Cent basically paid Ja Rule $3,000 just to see him fail. And I don't think you guys understand just the extent of the hatred that 50 Cent has towards Ja Rule, because every beef can stem to his hatred towards Ja Rule. What am I talking about? Bring the next victim. Versus The Game. Now folks, this one hits a little bit closer to home, because unlike Ja Rule, The Game and 50 Cent didn't start off as enemies. In fact, The Game was at one point a part of 50 Cent's crew, G-Unit. But all that good favor would change just 2 years after The Game joined G-Unit. You see, in 2005, 50 Cent was on Hot 97 where he publicly kicked The Game out of the G-Unit crew.
I beg your pardon?
You heard me, 50 Cent said fuck it, closed door, we're doing this outside, stating that he felt neglected because of The Game's album The Documentary.
So we actually got together. I recorded 6 records on Game's new album.
Right.
I did West Side Story, How We Do, Hated to Love It, Church for Thugs, Special, and Higher. He came back recently from overseas and was disrespectful, man. Like the way he's like, it's like he's feeling himself, like because of how well his record is selling. He's a great rapper. He's not a good songwriter. You know what I mean?
There's a difference.
It's a major difference. You know?
Yeah.
And he says a lot of people's names for shock value. He says things he doesn't mean.
So where does he stand as far as G-Unit is concerned right now?
Across the street or around the corner. He's not in my camp.
Not at all.
No way.
Okay.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, if my boss goes on the radio station to fire me in front of the whole world, I'm crashing out, and crashing out The Game did. The Game pulled up to Hot 97 with his homie, and allegedly bullets started flying like we were in the middle of recording the new John Wick movie, causing at least one person to get injured. First of all, I'ma just put it out there, there must have been no respect to the NYPD in the 2000s, cause you're telling me niggas having an active shootout in the middle of Manhattan? You telling me there wasn't one person up in that building like, I guess civilians were just built different back in the day, huh? Now you may ask, what got 50 Cent so mad that he had to publicly humiliate The Game like that? Well, in classic 50 Cent fashion, it all has to do because The Game didn't want to diss the rapper Nas and Jadakiss, who 50 Cent had beef with ever since his beef with the Terror Squad. And who was in the Terror Squad? Fat Joe. But who did Fat Joe drop a track with? That's right, none other than Ja Rule. You see how it's all connecting? So just by not dissing somebody who worked with somebody who worked with somebody who worked with Ja Rule, 50 Cent felt that the game was being unloyal. So after that situation at Hot 97, 50 Cent proceeded to diss the game on multiple diss tracks like Piggy Bank and So Disrespectful, going as far as having a Mr. Potato Head of the game in a music video. And don't worry, this will not be the last time 50 Cent gets creative dissing an opponent. To shutting down any of the game's attempts of having a G-Unit reunion, 50 Cent had to show the game that he will do anything in his power to make sure the game doesn't make it. But folks, we haven't even reached the worst case scenario. Bring in the last victim versus the boss. Well, we finally reached Ricky Rose. Now Rick Ross is a special case of itself. To many people, Rick Ross and 50 Cent are just two sides of the same coin. In fact, they're so much alike. Just like the game, Rick Ross was once the homie. So what happened? You see, I'm starting to believe that 50 Cent has a sixth sense when it comes to seeing through people's cap. What am I talking about? You see, while Rick Ross was on the run of his career, having the world believe that he's the Teflon Don, having you believe he's moving the bricks of that white stuff like his last name is Escobar, 50 Cent was not buying it. And then after allegedly crossing paths at a BET event where a chain got snatched, 50 Cent gave Rick Ross that 50-yard stare, and at that point Rick Ross knew it must have been up. And I don't know if it was in a state of panic, but Rick Ross decided to diss 50 Cent on a track called Mafia Music. And at that point 50 Cent knew we got him, because 50 Cent used everything in his arsenal to bury this man and put him in a pack. I'm surprised that Rick Ross is even relevant to this day, if I'm being quite honest with you. 50 Cent proceeded to drop a diss track by the name of Officer Ricky. Now the title is very important. Why Officer Ricky? Well, cause 50 Cent was about to reveal that there was a mystery in Rick Ross history, and that was that the only kilos that Rick Ross was seeing was the one on the scales when he did his yearly physical. That's right, 50 Cent exposed to the world that Rick Ross was not the Teflon Don, but he was a former correctional officer. But no matter how much Rick Ross tried to deny it, 50 Cent just kept dropping evidence and trolling everywhere he went. He even went as far as commissioning an animation of Rick Ross called Officer Ricky just to troll the man.
Officer Ricky? Damn, Rick. Why you got me up in this motherfucker, man? Is it because I said you and your mama look like the Clumps?
Now you gotta understand, out of any profession you could have had before being a rapper, corrections officer is top 3 bad job transitions. It's only behind being a cop and arresting niggas and being a judge and sentencing niggas to jail. No, you're just a guy watching them in jail. All of Rick Ross' credibility went down the drain, and it's amazing he still has a career, cause that would have ruined anybody else. And if you think that 50 Cent has matured now that he's basically the hood Tyler Perry dropping series like there's no tomorrow, no. All these beefs are currently still ongoing. 50 Cent does not forgive and he does not forget. And it's looking like 50 Cent is not looking for peace no time soon. But these are just a few prime examples of why you shouldn't beef with 50 Cent. But if you want to know about who released 50 Cent onto the hip hop world, click the video on the screen to learn more about the career of Eminem and how one decision saved his career. I'm out.